Hey, happy NaNoWriMo month. I thought I would spend some time a little bit this month giving some of my tricks of the trade. I've written a bunch of books, and also my company, Paper Lantern Lit, actually does a lot of work teaching young writers how to write novels. So I'm qualified is basically what I just spent the past 23 seconds saying. So one of the things that I think is most challenging well, first of all, one of the reasons that I think NaNoWriMo is so great is that it's really, really hard for young novelists to learn how to finish a book. But part of that comes because I think they get lost in the middle of the book. I'm sure you guys have all had that feeling. You have a great idea, you're super excited, and you start writing, and the first 30 pages are great, and then all of a sudden you run out of things to say. So I think that's because there's not a lot of training in actually how to structure a book, but those structures have been around really since the beginning of storytelling. And they started in the form of, storytelling really started in the form of 3-act plays. So the first real thing that I want to talk about is 3-act structures and how to use them to your advantage when you're writing a novel. Basically, the first act is the beginning, and you should introduce the characters and the world, but this is the important part. The end of Act 1, you have something that's called an inciting incident. That means that something happens that gives your main character a want. And it could be anything from wanting to get a cheeseburger to wanting to save their sister's life or wanting to win the Hunger Games. Probably the cheeseburger is not the best want for a dramatic novel, but I'll leave that up to you. Maybe it's a world where cheeseburgers are illegal. Anyway, so that is the most important thing. You have to then understand that the whole middle section of the book, Act 2, is your main character attempting to achieve his, her, or their want. And encountering increasingly difficult obstacles. It is a bonus if you can get the way that the character tries to achieve the want to actually be the thing that's getting them into deeper and deeper trouble. That's called agency, and we love it in novels. At the end of Act 2, one thing that you need to know, very important, your character cannot get their want. They have to fail to get their want. Everything has to go wrong. That's the collapse at the end of Act 2. And then Act 3 is the part where they realize that in the absence of getting their want, they actually learn what their true emotional need is. So their failure to get the cheeseburger makes them realize that all along what they really needed was the love of their next door neighbor boy. And then in the end, maybe they both get cheeseburgers. The End by Lauren Oliver.